Oh my god, guys. Is it possible? Did it happen? Is the world ending? No! State of Play didn't suck this time! Hello once again everybody and welcome back to another video from me, yours truly, your best daddy, Daddy Caddy. Yes, it's another reaction ranty video from me, Caddy. Today we're going to be talking about the most recent State of Play that was aired by Sony, basically PlayStation's answer to Nintendo Direct. It aired at the time of this video yesterday on the 10th of December 2019. It's the last of the year. And it was fine. It was completely passable. I mean, I wish I could say it was brilliant, but, you know, let's talk about it. Let's react to every single thing that they mentioned. Some of it was great, some of it not so much, but you're gonna have me shouting, and that's what everyone likes to see, right? Just as a reminder as well, before we start, if you hit the subscribe button below and make sure you hit that bell icon so you get all notifications, you'll know whenever I upload a video, whether that's a Caddicarus review or one of these kinds of videos. We're also going to be taking some comments from you guys that I asked on my Twitter account, which is, yeah, I got a little sign back there. Go and follow it in the description below, and then whenever I do a video like this, I'll be asking these questions for you guys, and at the end of these videos, we are going to be reacting to some of your answers. Some of them are going to make me want to die. So we start off with a reveal of one of my favourite games of the year coming to the PS4. Yes, of course, it is. You can tell by the sandwich floating around in the lake, can't you? What other game has a sandwich floating in a lake? It's Untitled Goose Game. Still upset they haven't named it yet. Work on that. Initially, it was exclusive to the Epic Games Store, I think, and the Nintendo Switch, and that was it. So I'm glad to see that it's coming to the PS4 in case you haven't got a Switch, don't want to get it on the Epic Games Store, can't wait for the Steam version, or, you know, whatever. It's a good announcement. It's a fantastic game. It's minimalistic, and it's not going to be for everybody, but if you like being a knobhead, then that is the game for you. I also suggest that nobody goes out of their way to put every single interactable object in a pile like that. By the time it takes you to do any of that in the game, you could have got a real life.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of State of Play.
So there's the announcer for today's stream. She's alright. Sounds a little bit BBC News though. It sounds very bulletin-y, if you know what I mean. I'm not too sure about this approach. I prefer Nintendo Direct's more light-hearted and like excited approach. This is better. It's better than the last one, but still, it feels like I'm watching politics right now.
Starting with House's Untitled Goose Game.
Yep, you already mentioned that. And off into the first announcement, we have Spellbreak. I don't know about you guys, it's another Battle Royale game. I'm sick of them by this point. This feels like the absolute flooding of first-person shooters in the mid to late 2000s. They're all looking the same, they're all molding together, they all have the same art style, they're all appealing to kids so that they can steal their money. The only thing I think it's got going for it is the magic element and using spells instead of using your basic guns and building forts and stuff, but other than that, it's another Battle Royale game. What do you want me to say? Bravo! Okay, I've said it now. This then moved on to Dreams from Media Molecule. If you like Little Big Planet, well, that's Media Molecule. I know that they're not one of the biggest names in the gaming industry, but they are certainly still there. They have made fantastic games in the past. This one looks like no exception. You just build anything. This trailer can't even go into, like, it's not even a ripple in a puddle to how huge this game is. I don't think it's got a point necessarily, but it looks like a technical achievement of a creative tool that we haven't yet seen before. It looks like the perfect gateway drug into game development and game creating, as it were, which they already were kind of doing with Little Big Planet to begin with, but that was with limited tools and having everything being on like using platformer-esque design and everything like that. This just looks completely free, completely open. Do what you want. It's literally called Dreams. I've seen a lot of videos from the team of what they've made in Dreams so far to hype everybody up. No one's really paying attention, which I think is quite sad. It looks amazing. I won't have any time to build something in it myself, but I can't wait to see what other people build. I'm definitely going to do a video about some of the more interesting looking creations, let's just say. And yeah, I mean, we've got a release date for it now. It feels like I've been seeing news about this game for about 10 years, and it's great to see that it is still happening. It's still coming out. It's going to be available really soon. Fantastic. Then we get an announcement for Superliminal, which looks cool as hell. I mean, it reminds me a lot of... I mentioned this game a lot. Who remembers Echochrome on PSP? Actually, I've got it. Wait. This game, Echochrome on PSP, it's the same kind of thing. This is incredibly underrated. This is a fantastic game. I wish they made a PS4 version of it, but it's basically perspective puzzles. The way you look at the world and how you line things up with other things. It's kind of like The Witness, if you want to think of a more recent example. Lining up things with your field of view and making things bigger, smaller, linking things together. And also, it gave me a lot of Stanley Parable vibes. Maybe it's a bit of a parody, maybe it's a commentary on game development. Who knows? It looks really interesting. And the fact that it says specifically it's coming to PS4 says to me that it's another exclusive. Hopefully, and if so, then great, we've got a load of exclusives now. Better than Call of Duty last time, and NBL. The next announcement was Paper Beast. I don't know how to feel about this one exactly, because it looks a lot like Tearaway, you know, the whole kind of cardboard paper world aesthetic, but it doesn't look anywhere near as charming or creative. It just looks like a load of unfinished PS1 models flapping around in reflective gravy. Considering that it is a PSVR game, maybe that's going to be a more interesting angle than something like Tearaway, but honestly, that's not enough really to sell me. I think I would have preferred something like Tearaway VR, because Tearaway is just, it's infinitely more, it does more with its paper like gimmick than this looks like it does. I know it's a teaser, I know I can't say anything, and when you're in the VR it's probably incredibly immersive and like, ooh, paper! But yeah, I'm not sure. What I do like is that it's got PSVR branding all over it. It says it's specifically coming to PSVR. Hopefully that means it's another exclusive, which is what we want from State of Play. That's what Nintendo built Nintendo Direct on, all the stuff that they know people have bought their consoles for, and then they dot in occasional port and dot in occasional, oh yeah, third-party support, all that kind of stuff. The last State of Play was basically all third-party, and all the stuff that wasn't was incredibly rarely interesting. There was like Watam, and then that was it. So I'm glad that we've got more of a focus, like a more of a reason for State of Play to exist. This then kicks off into another announcement I was waiting for very, very eagerly: the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC. And I was not expecting the Final Fantasy characters, to be completely honest with you. That was a nice surprise. It's great to see them back in Kingdom Hearts. Plus, they showed off a little bit of gameplay where you play as Kairi, and she's doing something. It feels like finally she's built up, her character has built up over the game. She's being useful for once in her goddamn miserable life. And I've seen a lot of people so far be a little iffy about this news, like, oh, well, why weren't they in there to begin with? Why is this all stuff happening now? Why are they charging for it after? Can I just explain something really quickly? Kingdom Hearts have been doing this since the first game. Not all, like, they've been doing this ridiculous nonsense since the beginning. Since the very beginning, they have released basically an unfinished game originally. Like all the PS2 originals, they ain't finished. Those aren't the finished games. Then they give it a few years and released like final mixes, which have not only more content, more like more weapons, more mechanics, more stuff like that, but also more story elements. They're always unfinished until the final mixes, and this feels like it's going to combine with Kingdom Hearts 3 to become the final mix. So and the thing is as well, what I don't understand from Kingdom Hearts fans specifically when it comes to 3 and the lack of Final Fantasy characters and everything. Yeah, seeing the Final Fantasy characters in 1 and 2 when the other games was nice and everything, but they were just there. They were never part of anything, really. Yeah, you got the Sephiroth battles and everything, but they were never really integral to anything, at least as far as I'm concerned. You want to play Final Fantasy? Play Final Fantasy. I mean, they were always just hanging around to begin with, so I don't understand why now bringing them back is such a big problem. Like, oh, they're locking Final Fantasy behind a paywall. Okay, yeah, maybe, but Kingdom Hearts 3 as a standalone game is fantastic anyway. It didn't need Kingdom Hearts characters. No, it didn't need Final Fantasy characters just sitting there and saying, "Hey, Sora, this sword's heavy." Like, they didn't need any of that, you know? And it's just a cool bonus. Not too sure about the price, seems a little bit ridiculous, and especially when you compare that to the original release of the game. Like, it's not like you're buying the original Kingdom Hearts 3 with the DLC for this price, you're just getting the DLC for this price. So yeah, that's a point of contentment, yeah, because yeah, you buy the original Kingdom Hearts 1, then the final mix comes out, you might have spent, I'm really not sure, but maybe you spent the same amount of money, maybe you spent a little bit less, but you still got the base original game with everything integrated. This is just an extension, this is DLC, so altogether you're spending a good, well, I mean, I spent 50 quid on the base game, and then it's about, well, I think they said $30, so £25, maybe £20. Yeah, you're spending nearly £100, nearly $100, sorry, on the complete package, which is a little bit lame, but, you know, it's expansion to an already fantastic game as far as I'm concerned. I don't feel like I've been cheated out. I don't feel like they've locked all the best stuff behind something. I was completely happy with Kingdom Hearts 3. This is just an exciting addition to it. So, don't know about you guys. Wait a second, what's this? Oh, are we pre-ordering DLC now? Where did we go so wrong? And up comes Predator Hunting Grounds, which looks really fun. But when all is said and done, it just looks like Aliens vs Predator on PS3. Remember that game? A game that nobody talked about, nobody played. Yeah, this looks like where this is going. Predator Hunting Ground, it looks more mechanically sound, it looks visually better, it looks smoother, it looks like it's had more care put into it, but it's basically Aliens vs Predator without the aliens. Like, you either pick a human and get FPS stuff, or you pick the stealthy Predator and you hunt everybody. I don't know. It looks like it'll be a fun distraction. I'm not too massively hyped about it though. What's this? Square Enix and Platinum Games? Tell me more, monsieur. Babylon's Fall. It looks epic. I'll give it that, but there wasn't really much to it. It was a teaser of a teaser of a teaser. We saw basically what the game's going to be like, but the announcement was to say, hey, find out more about this in the summer. No, we don't know anything about it. But Square Enix and Platinum, I mean, you can't go wrong with either of those two. So I'm excited. I'm excited for more news. I'm just glad that it's something that exists, I suppose. And then I was taken aback because they said there's a new game called Project Resistance coming out. And obviously that's Resident Evil, you know, Project Resistance RE, and then they take the rest of the letters out and it's just left with RE! So now it's technically Project Angry Internet Man. And at the start they said this.
We've got an exclusive reveal of the unannounced campaign portion of Capcom's Project Resistance.
And that made me feel a bit weird, right? Because I thought, well, we know that Resident Evil 3 is already happening because that was news already. Like they've lost the hype train on that. The hype train already left the station with that. If they were saving this exclusive announcement, it's not exclusive anymore. So I thought this is a new like Operation Raccoon City kind of thing, you know, Project Resistance. And then the way that they said, oh yeah, the new campaign version of this game, I was like, oh, so this is going to be like a single-player version of this online game. So I don't know if that was their way of clouding everyone's expectations to a Resident Evil 3 reveal and making them think, oh, this is something different, and making them keep tuning in to see what it actually was, which was just Resident Evil 3 single-player. Or it could be that Resident Evil 3 is going to be the actual bonus game to whatever Project Resistance is. That's what they're making it sound like, which would suck if that's true, because then that makes me feel like they're not going to put as much effort into it. I just kicked the microphone. It's great that we've got an April 3rd, 2020 release date. Cannot wait for this game. Absolutely hyped. Yeah, it's not PlayStation exclusive. You know what, who cares? They had their little chance to shine. They screwed it up because they already basically leaked it themselves, so they tried. Let's give them a pat on the back. Well done, Sony. You tried. Ooh, 8:07. The scariest time. By the way, if you're wondering what I think about Nemesis's design, yeah, he looks like Nemesis. I'm not sure about the nose, though. The nose puts me off. I'm okay with everything else. The nose looks a bit weird. It looks like someone was trying to play pin the tail on the donkey, but they went over to a man with burns and picked up a nose instead and put it on his face wrong. After this, we get a lovely thank you message from the Mr. Father of everything PlayStation himself, Ken Kutaragi, who I think he's absolutely adorable. I love this guy. And I like his long ears. And that means he's a very old and wise man, because the older you get when you're a guy, the ears keep growing, so he's very clever. So yeah, we get a little thank you message from him, and then all of a sudden, we get this surprise reveal, and I wasn't too sure about this one. I was thinking, oh, Sekiro's already kind of done this, you know, whatever, and then all of a sudden, Sucker Punch's name came up. And, well, Sucker Punch, I'm glad to see them coming back into something. That has sold me on this game alone. Sucker Punch are a fantastic company. They've made some of my favourite games, so I can't wait to see what this is. Ghost of Tsushima, that's what it was called. Yeah, it doesn't look necessarily very unique so far, but it's Sucker Punch. They always make unique things. Even if it's something that's not very well received, it still looks great, plays great. Like Infamous Second Son. Bit of a mixed bag. It still looks fantastic and plays fantastic, so Sucker Punch, yeah, take my money, I'm done. But of course, like always, I am not the only person with an opinion. I might have the microphone, but I don't have well, I do have a phone to write questions in, but you guys can use your thumbs to get questions to me. So once again, remember, at Caddicarus, Instagram and Twitter, that's where I'm most active on social media. That's where you'll see me post all of my video updates when videos go live, because YouTube notifications are terrible. Remember to hit that bell! And of course, that's where you can respond to my questions when I ask them. So I'm just going to go to my most recent tweet about State of Play and see what everyone thought about it themselves. I had no idea it was happening, or happened already. Why do these exist? Sure was a long-winded way of showing Resident Evil 3. Would have been better off watching paint dry on a wonderful waste of time. Why? There was a State of Play. That already was another waste of time. Okay, so loads of people are still thinking, what is the point of State of Play? I'm still kind of in that camp, but I did think this was an improvement. There's just no... The funny thing is that on the last State of Play, which I thought was just terrible, the funny thing is that the actual good news that we would want to hear was announced, like, the day or two after. I can't remember what the news was exactly, but it was like, they could have saved that for a State of Play. Like, the problem is that they treat all of their State of Play stuff so far like just a string of trailers and tiny announcements that they could tweet about. So it's like, well, why did you bother making a big old thing where we've got to take time out of our day, sit down and watch this thing, and then be like, well, you could have just tweeted about it? That's Nintendo Direct save their stuff. They keep things secret, and they save the big hitters for it. State of Play just feels like it is rolling off of their success and not really thinking about it. So I do see where these people are coming from, but I'm going to look at some other varied opinions. One Chop says, yes, Ghosts of Tsushima. That game I totally remember from Sony's 2018 E3 for not being Sekiro. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know it existed, so my eyes were on Sekiro. This is what I'm trying to say. It doesn't look very unique, so yeah, I'm with you on that. Bob Dunga says, alright, Tim Allen, go and see a doctor. Whoa says, literally every Crash Bandicoot fan right now, and they've attached a gif of Mr. Krabs falling to pieces. And I'm assuming it's because they're talking about the rumours that there is a new Crash Bandicoot game that's going to be announced. Again, this just ties back into what I'm saying about the point of State of Play. I don't know why they couldn't have kept that to themselves. They announced the Insane trilogy at their own bloody E3 conference, so why couldn't they take a PlayStation loyalist thing like Crash and save that for themselves? That is, of course, if the rumours are true. If the rumours are true, then I'd be like, why the hell did you not save that for State of Play? But, you know, who knows? Let's see. Kingdom Hearts said, if their two biggest announcements hadn't leaked, it would have had more impact, I think. Yep. Completely agree with you. N. Comida says, if that's how you pronounce it, sorry if I got it wrong, I feel like State of Plays are improving as they continue forward. It isn't at the Nintendo Direct standards yet, but took Nintendo a long time to get that momentum as well. PlayStation is slowly finding out how to nail this while avoiding expensive press conference flops. That's a good way to look at it, because they have done some big old flops in the past. Flippy, flappy flops. So I'm glad that they're saving resources, time, money, and everything. But for this kind of announcement, again, why not just drum up publicity on something else other than taking time out of everyone's day and watching a thing and being like, well, that was a waste of time. I don't think it's worth that. At least if a tweet is a waste of time, you can just scroll past it, you know? So I think you're right. I think they're picking up momentum, but yeah, we'll just see what happens in the future. And just before we get to some of the other things you guys were saying, I just want to thank every single person who have supported this channel via my Patreon page. And on the screen right now are the people that have donated to the tier of having their names pop up on the screen. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for even looking at the Patreon page if you'd like to. It really does help the channel keep moving forward, keep improving, allow me to keep trying new things. And, well, keeps my lights on. It keeps me making the videos that everyone likes to see, I suppose. So thank you so much. And just before, again, once we get onto the rest of it, I just want to thank the top tier Patreon supporters that you can find more information about in the description below. Are you ready? Let's go. Basil, Brandon, Mitchell Reed, A.D. Thornton Smith, Nightshade 96, Exopaz, Matthew Hubble, Daniel LaRosa, GTFO Brikachu, Matthew O'Donnell, TARDIS Type 4, Ramen Wolf 1485, Red Eyed Critic, you better go and get some eye drops for that, Fart Rules, Ray Slocum, Doom Guy, yes, the literal actual Doom Guy, I'm a big fan, Brandon Butler Williams, J-Man Crew, The Game Shed, and Amda Zandel. Thank you so much. Anyway, let's continue, shall we? Dear Wall says, I kind of laughed at the final trailer, which basically just said to go and watch the Game Awards for the full trailer, kind of undercutting their own stream. Again, good point. Why? It's pointless, really, isn't it? Why am I saying this was all right? The Third King says, You got a cough? Brian Caffel says, buttocks sweat. Are you selling? Because if you are, I'm buying. Shane says, RE3 Caddicarus! I take it you're excited. I'm not sure why I've got that impression from you. The Fat Chocobo says, it made my pee-pee hard! Well, I can only hope that the PS5 does look like how we've seen the leaked design is, because then that means you could put it there. Rhiannon Bevan says, 0 out of 10. No Cash Banuka.
And that's a wrap. From everyone at PlayStation, thanks for joining us and keep that feedback coming.
I think that's the general consensus with this state of play so far, is that it's fine, it's better than the ones we've had so far, but it still hasn't picked up a stride. It's still incredibly mixed in the reception. It doesn't seem to be growing or going anywhere. It just seems to be kind of muting out, as it were, and the people that are already turned off by the idea are never going to be turned on by the idea, so there's just no point even thinking too hard about it. So but I mean, I thought it was decent. There was more of a focus on PlayStation. There were more announcements that they knew people were actually going to like. There was a less nonsense about multi-platform stupid nonsense. They got rid of the bloody ridiculous PlayStation Plus announcements, which are essentially just updates that you get emailed to and you delete straight away. So yeah, I mean, I would say that for this state of play, I was kind of proud to wear my little PlayStation jumper. Oh wait, no, I can't do that, because pride is one of the 7 deadly sins.